When working on the simulation assignments, the tutorial and the final simulation, your Marketing 1010 class, here's some places you're going to want to look inside the simulation in order to get some results and some data to help you make decisions as you move through the simulation and as you complete the written analyses that you need to do for the project. One of the first places you're going to need to go to when doing the tutorial assignment is the leaderboard. The leaderboard is located down here on the bottom right-hand side, and you'll see that you'll get your last quarter's results. You'll also want to look at the cumulative results as well there too. You can take a look and see what your account balance was, how much money you have in the bank. If you click on the header, as I just did there a couple of times, you can see who finished in first place and who finished in last place in all the competition. You'll see the cumulative net profit, the market share that you had throughout the entire simulation. Again, the higher the market share, the more backpacks you're selling. So you can see here ML Backpacks, which is the company that you are. Keep that in mind as you do this in this example. Only had 5% market share, but they did sell 1,300 backpacks as well there too. You can also get an idea of how your return on marketing was, meaning how much marketing dollars did you spend versus how many sales did you get in based on that. And you'll see that customer satisfaction score. Remember, the customer satisfaction is what your grade is being based on when completing the simulation. And it's made up of a lot of KPIs, which you can refer to in the tutorial tips page that you have on Canvas. You'll see the total revenue you made over the entire time, and you'll see product satisfaction. Were people happy with that? And you can see here that maybe they didn't sell as many backpacks. People were satisfied with the product. This can give you some good idea of how you're doing against your competition, and it might give you some insight potentially on, maybe we need to work on something to sell more if our market share is low. Another area we're going to want to look is the market research area. The market research area will appear to you after turn 1. And you want to take a look at this after every turn in the simulation. It will show you exactly what backpacks your competition has made. You can deep dive into each one of those backpacks to see the characteristics as far as what the target market is looking for. You'll get an idea of who their target market is as well there too. If I pull out here for just 1 second, it will show you what percentage of people in each target market bought the backpack. It's a little bit off here, but ML Backpacks would be this one, Troy Taylor would be this one, Kev Gear would be this one, Alpine High this one, East West this one, and Snow Sport this one. But you can see the one I went into, Kev Gear, 48% of their target market was children, meaning 40 of all the backpacks being sold by Kev Gear, 48% of them were purchased by the school children target market. They can see their sales, you can see where they sold their backpacks, you can see how much they spent on promotions, and you can also get some news about what they did to their backpack as well too. If I step back here, we'll get the overview of the entire competitive area. Your backpack, ML Backpacks, is always going to be the one down here on the bottom in the different colored, platter there for you. You can also take a look at the performance. You can see how much they spend on media per turn. You can also see if the target market awareness is high or low, and depending on what target market you're going after, you want that awareness to be a little bit higher. The next area I want to take you to is the reports area. This is going to be a key area for you to write your analysis and really to make decisions inside of the simulation as well there too. These are the different reports that you have available for you, giving you information about the decisions that you made inside the game. We'll default to the turn graphs area. It's going to show you trend lines as the game goes on or the quarters go on. How are you doing versus your competition, but also how are you doing overall? Are your trend lines going up or down? In all these different areas, unit price, total fixed cost, contribution margin, you can look at all those different measurements to see how you're doing. So it's a good visual for you. But the real data comes in the KPI or the key performance indicators area. You're going to want to make sure you're on the right turn. When you're doing your analyses, you may want to go to the very last turn here to kind of see how overall people thought of your backpack. You can see here for your team, which is ML Backpacks, or your company, I should say, and all of your competitors, you can get a ton of data here. You can learn what their target segments are. I can see here, ML Backpacks, my team, I decided to target school children. Well, so did Snow Sport. and so did Troy Taylor. I had a lot of competition in that area. Other companies chose to do urban commuters, outdoor enthusiasts, and university students. Nobody targeted the luxury market. Maybe had I been looking at this during the game, I might have switched over to luxury because you have the ability to do that during the game. I might have switched over to luxury because nobody was targeting that market. And then I get my scores. There's a whole bunch of measurements and data that I can learn about my decision making. Characteristic score, that tells me how I made my backpack for my target market. We're talking here those things like comfort, eco-friendliness, durability, those measurements that your target market was looking for. How well did I make my backpack towards what they wanted? It's out of 100. I got an 89, so it looks like I did a pretty good job in doing that, but this team did 100. So I might want to look in their backpack and see what they did differently than mine that got them a higher characteristic score. Feature score takes a look at the different things you can add on to the backpack, like a solar panel or a GPS or a university logo, things like that, and how well they appeal to my target market. Again, you can hover over any of these at any time to give you an idea of what they're measuring. I can see my feature score, I got a 45. My competition only got a 9. So I've got stuff on there that they probably don't have on there, but they may have chosen not to do it to save money. You can dig into that data and really look at the backpacks and try and see why you got the scores that you did. The average appeal score takes those two numbers and averages them together, so you have an idea overall between characteristics and features, how well your backpack was rating in your target market. You're also going to get a price score. And a price score is going to be somewhere between 0 and 4. If you get a 4, that means your price is right on target with what your target market wanted. In this case, I seem to have done that. Snow Sport over here, they got a 0, which means they're way off from what the target market wanted as well too. So you might want to dig in and see what they're selling their backpack for versus what you sold your backpack for as well there too. You can look that for all of your competitors as well too. Message score and interest level, those deal with your promotion. Message score takes a look at how well your message, how well your target market is reacting to the promotional message that you have, that word or words that you chose to put on your billboard. I have a 14. The highest you can get is you can hover over this is a 35. So I still have some work to do. There's probably something that wasn't really matching up with what the target market wanted to hear. So I might want to go in and look at my words to see how well those are doing as far as competitiveness or clarity or interest level as well there too. And here's where interest level comes into play. I got a 19. Now the highest you can get on this is 100. So I have a long way to go on this. And interest level is gained by advertising a lot to your target market. You might be able to advertise a lot, but if you're not advertising your target market, that interest level won't go up. You need to go into the promotion area and find those advertising media vehicles that will get your target market excited about your backpack. I can also see how much money I spent. Whoa, I spent $8,800 that turn on advertising alone. If I look at everybody else, this company spent $16,000. This one spent $10,000. So I can take a look at that media spending to see if I'm on par with what other people are doing, or am I spending too much or too little in the competitive environment that I'm in. The average margin is very helpful because it tells you how much you're making on each backpack. One of the goals and keys of this game is to maximize that average margin. You want to make more money per backpack because the more money you make per backpack and the more you sell, the more net profit you're going to make. Another area to look at is the distributor deficit. It's going to tell you true or false. True if you're not making a profit in a store, false if you are making a profit in a store. If you get a true here, that means your backpack that you're selling inside a retail store, and it could be any of the retail stores that you're selling in, you're actually losing money every backpack that you're selling. Based on how much it costs to make your backpack and the price that you're charging for it and the cut the distributor is taking, that could actually lead to you losing money selling each backpack. You're literally paying people to buy your backpack. So if you get a true here, you need to go in and try and figure out how to either raise your prices or lower your costs in order to make a profit inside each store. You'll also get an idea of how much profit you make per turn, what your ranking is against all your competitors based on that profit. You'll see your market share. You saw that data there too. You'll see largest distributor. Are you selling in the store that has the most people in your target market shopping at it? If you get a false here, you need to go and find out where you need to sell your product because you're not selling in the store that has the most people shopping inside of it. And then you'll get more of those product satisfaction, customer satisfaction data that you got on the leaderboard as well there too. You can look through each turn, as I can see here, I'm in turn 4, turn 5. You can watch the progression of these numbers. When you get to the final simulation, you'll have a worksheet that you can use to kind of see how you go up or down. And it's really going to give you some good feedback on how well your marketing strategy is working. A couple other areas to look for feedback and results as you go through each turn. And you're going to make your decisions in your turn. You'll get your results, and you want to review all of this data in order to make better decisions as you move forward. Another place to look is the target market area. And if you dig into your target market area, you'll note there's a couple of different tabs up here. In the profile, it helps you make decisions on who to target. But once you get some sales data, you can learn how many people in your target market are buying backpacks, and not just your backpack, but everybody's as well there too. You can see here in this market that I was going after, 625 total backpacks were sold, and I sold 46% of them. That's not a bad place to be for that. And I'm also getting some feedback. They're going to tell me if they like my backpack or not. It has a lot of my desired characteristics, has some of the special features. I don't like the color. It's a good size. The price is right. They're going to give you lots of great feedback to help you make decisions to make your backpack more appealing to them as well too. One other area to look is the store area. And if I dig into each one of the stores here, I can see how many backpacks were sold in that store, and I can see how many of them I sold. So in this case, the discount retail chain sold 513 total backpacks. I sold 313 of those. Looking pretty good there. And I can watch my trend lines as well. And I can look at each store in order to find this information out. I wasn't selling in the online discount retailer, so I didn't get to, I don't have any sales data there as well. Remember, another tip when dealing with the stores, you can sell as many stores as you want to, but you just want to make sure, and I'll go over here into the profile, you want to make sure that there's a lot of people inside of your target market that are shopping inside of that store. You'll note here, online discount retailer has a lot of people shopping. It's 7,155 total, and it's broken out by different target market. By the way, if you see this number here down here at the bottom, this corresponds with the outdoor group over here. For whatever reason, on some screens, it defaults and goes down to another line there. You'll note in the direct store, which always defaults for you to sell at, there's just not as many people shopping in the direct store. That means they're buying directly from your website or from a catalog. So they may not, there's just not as many people as go into stores and buy on a daily basis. The one last area to look at is the headquarters area, and this will be what always defaults after a turn, giving you your quarterly sales, and it breaks down how much you sold it for and what your profit margin or your gross profit was, and what your contribution margin was, meaning how much did you make per backpack sold. So there's lots of good data in here. You can watch some more trend lines here against you and your competition. How well are you doing over time? You'll get a positioning or perceptual map that shows how people are perceiving your backpack to be. The larger the circle, the more backpacks being sold, and you can check on all the different characteristics that target markets were looking for and see if you're being perceived as having that characteristic. You'll also see any alerts, what people have changed inside the turn, your competitors or yourself. And if there's any market event, sometimes in the simulation, magically a market event will happen. Maybe it'll be a sale on advertising, or it'll be an increase in cost for the materials to make your backpack. So you can always go back and reflect on those events on that tab as well too. Hopefully that will help you out with some tips and tricks on what to look for when making decisions inside the simulation, and when you're reporting out inside the written analysis for the tutorial and for the final simulation as well. Always ask your instructor if you have any questions, and good luck on this project.